Thank you, Tony. Well, today, Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo delivered her annual State of the State address. It's Raimondo's third State of the State, and she insisted she's making real progress in improving conditions in Rhode Island.
At the same time, she acknowledged that some people are still frustrated. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado was at the State House for the address tonight, and she joins us now live from Providence with more. Steph?
The governor kept repeating the phrase, "Let's keep going," as she touted her accomplishments from her first term while also proposing ways to continue her agenda in this election year State of the State address.
Let's come together and make a once-in-a-generation investment to fix our public schools.
Governor Gina Raimondo eliciting a standing ovation from the crowd when she proposed spending $1 billion over 5 years to fix Rhode Island school buildings.
There are teachers, we've all seen it, teachers putting trash bins in the middle of the classroom to collect the water dripping from the leaky ceiling.
After a study showed hundreds of millions of dollars are needed to keep schools warm, safe, and dry, we saw schools closing last week after pipes burst and heating failed. Raimondo continuing to make the fight against opiate addiction a priority.
Overdose deaths were down in Rhode Island last year by 8%. But even one death is too many.
Proposing a requirement that health insurance companies cover addiction and mental health treatment like any other disease. The governor also touting her accomplishments from her first term as her re-election bid approaches, including the Roadworks plan to fix roads and bridges, a tax incentive program that has helped bring businesses to the state, job training programs, and free tuition at CCRI.
It's on us. It's on all of us to make sure that every single Rhode Islander has the job training and education that they need to get a good job.
Not everyone liked her message. Republican House Minority Leader Patricia Morgan and Cranston Mayor Alan Fung were both in the chamber for the speech, each of them hoping to prove to voters later this year that they should get Raimondo's job.
So all these new programs that she's going to be tacking onto the state budget, a budget that is already out of control, in deficit mode.
I just kept saying ka-ching, ka-ching. Every program, everything that she said, boy, we have to go forward with this, they cost money. That money comes from somebody.
And some of those answers may come on Thursday when the governor will be revealing her budget proposal. Live at the State House, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
We have in-depth coverage of the governor's State of the State address. I'm joined by WPRI.com reporter Ted Nisi, who was there tonight. You know, it's like a sporting event, Ted. You can't get the full feeling just watching on TV. You were in the room. What was the reception like?
Yeah, well, like a game, you know, you see fans on one side or the other cheering depending on what's happening on the field. And you kind of see that in a speech like this. You know, depending on what she was talking about, you saw some things like, for example, her praise for veterans. Everyone in the room jumped up and gave a big applause. Then you saw on an issue like opposition to offshore drilling, the Democrats jumped up, the Republicans not so much. And there were even issues like the line item veto proposal where the Senate jumped up, but the House didn't. So you can really see the divides between different groups in there as you listen to a speech like this.
4 years ago, the governor ran on jobs and the economy. Is this something she has to continue to sell to voters?
No doubt about that, Mike. I mean, the governor knows, and she's always said, that jobs and the economy are the #1 issue, especially in a state like Rhode Island hit so hard by the Great Recession. And really, her re-election chances this fall depend in large part on how many voters think she's delivering there. That's why you heard her talking up programs like Real Jobs Rhode Island, defending the incentives her administration is giving out to lure companies here. You know, this was an official speech in her official capacity, but in some ways it was an unofficial re-election kickoff speech as well.
You know, Ted, parents and students have seen this for a while now, but you get a first-hand look this month with broken pipes, burst pipes in the schools, buildings are falling apart. Governor wants to make a once-in-a-lifetime investment, $1 billion. How's she going to come up with that money?
Well, Mike, this is one of those issues where you heard just about everyone jump up. Thunderous applause in the chamber. There seems to be big support among state lawmakers who are, of course, overwhelmingly Democrats for a big commitment on school repairs. The linchpin of the governor's plans, we got some more detail on it, is a $250 million bond that they want to put on this November's ballot and have voters approve to help fund those repairs. It's a big number, but the state treasurer has said he thinks it's doable because other debt on the state's books is getting paid off, coming off the books, and so this can be where that goes next.
All right, some of the things she didn't talk about: new Pawsox Stadium, which the Senate passed legislation tonight, UHIP, and the deficit. Were you surprised?
I was a little surprised, Mike. I mean, obviously, any governor is going to accentuate the positive in a speech like this, but those are some big issues right now, and particularly on the budget deficit. As Steph Machado mentioned, on Thursday, we're expecting to hear more about the budget. She didn't talk at all about what kind of hard choices she's going to make to close the budget deficit, and that means she didn't really prepare people for the kinds of things they might be hearing about in a couple days. So that was a choice they made, but there may be a lot more talk about that when the budget release comes out.
All right, WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi. Ted, thank you very much.